Having a girlfriend ruined my business. I believe that the first 1 to 3 years of starting a business are absolutely critical to its future success. Actually, those first 3 years are almost always going to be the hardest. And one of the main reasons why is because who you were when you first started your business, the people you hung out with, the habits that you had, the environment that you were in, is typically, at least in my experience, not conducive to who you need to be to take your personal life and your business life to the next level. Simply put, the old environment is not conducive to who you need to become. And I think that it is kind of easy to start separating your family or your friends, anything that doesn't serve you. Maybe you stop going to certain bars or you stop going to certain, hangout locations because you know that that doesn't serve you. But there's one insidious area that most people overlook, and that is their personal relationships, their girlfriend or their boyfriend. And what can happen is that you can get everything right. You can stop going to, the bars, you can stop talking to those old people, you can stop doing those old habits, but you still might have a bridge to that old world, which I see a lot of times is that personal relationship with a boyfriend and a girlfriend. And the worst part about it is that almost always has more of an influence on your day-to-day habits and actions than any parent or friend could. In my own personal experience, I actually first had my first real girlfriend right when I decided to start my own online business. This was about 3.5 years ago. And she is an incredible person. There's no doubt about it. But one of the things that I was realizing very early on was that I was pushing her to become somebody that I wanted her to be. I kept on telling her she needed to wake up earlier, maybe not do, smoke so much weed, maybe potentially try to challenge herself and get a different job or a better job or something that she felt more fulfilled with, because then she'd come home from her work and always complain to me about her work. And here I am trying to change who I am. And I felt like I was doing so much exertion pushing her and so much exertion pushing myself that really I had no energy to make the progress that I actually wanted to make. And once again, I don't think that she's a terrible person, and I don't blame her for any, effects that had on me. It was my fault for still continuing to be in the relationship longer than I knew that it was actually not conducive to who I wanted to be. And once I finally decided to make that change and I actually ended up breaking up with her, my business and my personal life totally took off. I broke up with her, and then immediately a few weeks later, I moved to Medellin, Colombia, and I lived there for 6 months. And it was in that time when I was by myself in a totally different country without knowing anybody that I started seeing leaps and bounds in my personal development and my business development. And it wasn't necessarily that she was holding me back. It was that she was the bridge to the old person I used to be. And so for the next 3 years, I really focused on becoming the best version of myself possible. I almost swore off relationships and women, not because I thought that, once again, they were a bad person, but because I felt like they were a little bit of a distraction. And it wasn't until I really achieved a greater version of myself, it wasn't until I had absolute mastery over my own disciplines, my own thoughts, my subconscious, my habits, that then the world presented me an incredible woman who's the girlfriend that I have right now. And we've been speaking and dating for almost 2 years now. And so I don't see an end to that anytime soon. And she is actually come up to the level that I'm at. I met somebody who's already at the level that I am, and she is pushing me a lot of times, or I am pushing her sometimes, but it's in a very healthy way. And so because of that, I feel like I can take her to the next level, where the person I was with before, I didn't feel like was conducive to me going to the next level I needed to in order to achieve all I wanted to in my personal life and in my business. I've had the pleasure of working with thousands of business owners, some at 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, and even 9 figures. And if there's almost always a similar characteristic that all of them have, it is that they are keeping alive a bridge to their past. And when they do that, they can almost never become the person that they need to be. And so a lot of times they hire me to help them grow their business, but I almost always have to have a conversation with them about their personal relationships. And as you can guess, a lot of the times it has to do with their girlfriend or their boyfriend. So if you're watching this video right now, I'm not saying that you need to just turn around to your partner and just break up with them immediately, but this could be your sign. A lot of times with my clients, they've been thinking it subconsciously for years of their life, but they haven't done it. And then I give them essentially permission to do it, even though they had it the whole time. And all of a sudden they do it and they take off. They feel happier, they feel more fulfilled, and their business goes to the next level. So remember, you don't don't have to necessarily end the relationship with the person that you're with right now, but just understand that if you are spending so much energy and time trying to push this person to become who they need to be, it's going to take away from the energy from you pushing yourself for who you need to be.